You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight, that's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time. To pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
Looking live at Heritage Christian School, 75th and Benford on Indianapolis's northeast side. It's David Pierce alongside Troy Derengowski for week number 8 of the Indiana high school football season. The undefeated Heritage Christian Eagles playing host to the Tindley High School Tigers. Today's game is brought to you by our proud sponsors, the Morales Group, building better futures, one story at a time. Burtner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. Also brought to you by the Sports Innovation Institute and the Sport Management Program at IUPUI, a lifetime of sports with a winning degree. Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 solution. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Nothing runs like a deer. Well, Troy, we're into week 8 of the season. Heritage without a blemish on their record, coming off a big homecoming victory last week against LaPel. They face Tindley today, but they will do so without their starting quarterback, Kyle Antoine, who went out with a shoulder injury. He has already been in to get some surgery on that. They hope to have him back for a deep playoff run this season, but obviously that is a big loss for this Heritage squad.
Yeah, I tell you what, after what he's accomplished through 7 games and watching him last week, that is a big loss. The good news is he's coming back, and I think this is a Heritage Christian football team, depending on how that draw works out in the sectional. I really haven't looked that far ahead yet, though the draw will be coming up here on Sunday. I think they're going to be okay until he returns. Now, the quarterback job will now go to Zach Schlamer. Schlamer, their wide receiver, their leading wide receiver, will now take over, so that's really a big storyline, not only for tonight, but next week's game, and then into the first or second round of the tournament. So How Schlamer plays tonight, I think you'll get a pretty good indication of just how they'll do in the next couple of games. Not to take anything away from their opponents, their tough games are now out of the way when you talk about Heritage Christian. Tonight will be very winnable. Next week will be very winnable. Then the idea is stay healthy and get ready for the tournament.
Yeah, and so Antoine on the season completing 70% of his passes, over 200 yards per game. He's thrown 16 touchdowns and run for another 9. And so, Coach Ray, in talking with him this week, he said obviously that's a big loss, but the good news is you still have ostensibly and arguably the best running back in 2A in the state of Indiana in Colton Brown, who holds every single season and career rushing record that you can have at the school. So I would anticipate a heavy dose of Colton Brown here as we round out the regular season.
Well, let me tell you what, even if Antoine was back, I would still have a heavy dose of Colton Brown. Yeah. 165 yards and 3 touchdowns last week against what I thought was a very good Lapel football team. And that score was not really indicative of how tough a game that was for Heritage Christian. Heritage Christian has had 2 straight weeks. They beat a good Covenant Christian team. They had to hold on. They got the big lead in the first half. The offense didn't click in the second half. And then last week, Lapel, it was like back and forth throughout the entire game. And Colton Brown, when you look at the scouting report and you talk about just how tough of a runner he is, but he has great vision. He makes cuts where you don't think normal running backs are going to make the cut. And I call him kind of one of those special kind of players who just seems to have it all. Power, speed, cutback, you name it, he does it. And he also catches the ball out of the backfield, and you're going to see a lot of him tonight, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so he's got 965 rushing yards on the season, just 45 yards short of another 1,000-yard season. Well, let's take a look at the Tindley Tigers Ball Club. They come in today matching their season win total from a year ago at 3-3, and they actually come into this on a 2-game winning streak, a 41-6 win over Purdue Polytechnic, and then an impressive win 42-12 at West Dell up in the Muncie area last week. So they have kind of turned the ship around here in the back half of the season. And obviously, talking to their coach earlier in the week, he said they got a lot of basketball players. This is a heavy basketball-laden team. He didn't really get the guys until they're done with their AAU season late in the summer. Yeah. And so Coach Melvin Graham said, we're really just now rounding in to our football shape and our football conditioning, and you can see that here with their last couple of wins. They were also, for the large part of the early part of the season, without their star wide receiver, Jaden Pinkston. He has been back in the last 2 games. He's caught 7 balls for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns. And so having him at wide receiver and then also playing in that deep safety position in a 4-2 defensive scheme has really added really be able to stretch the field on both sides of the ball.
They will need Pinkston tonight because this is a good Heritage Christian defense, not only run defense but pass defense as well. Tindley is playing football at the right time, and I'm talking about good football here at the end of the year because that's really when you want to start peaking. If you get into Game 7, Game 8, Game 9, and all of a sudden the tournament's right there and you're still rolling, you're in good shape. And as you had mentioned, 41 against Purdue Poly, 42 against West Dell, the 2 highest scoring games they've had this year. You have to go back to South Decatur back on September 3rd when they scored 38. They've got guys, they've got athletes, as you said. He's right. They've got guys that are basketball players that are playing football. That's not always a bad thing, but they've got some athletes, and you got to really keep an eye on their quarterback, Richmond. He's able to throw the football. He's able to pass the football. They can run the ball with Hampton and Miller. So don't take them lightly. I don't think Heritage Christian is going to do that tonight, but be real careful of a team like Tindley.
And they have Indianapolis Washington High School in their final regular season game. So a really good tune-up here. Their top 2 teams in their sectional, number 46, Lutheran at 7-0, and Sheridan at 5-2. Well, looks like the Eagles are about ready to take the field here for their final home game of the season. This broadcast is copyrighted by the IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Well, Troy, we're kind of entering that point of the season where everybody wants to be peaking, essentially. And Coach Ray said that there's two things he wants to be focused on right now, and that is, A, finishing games, which he felt like the Lapel game was the first game all season where they've really finished. They have let opponents kind of hang around in 4 games this year where it ended up being down to the last possession or late in the fourth quarter where, the Eagles ended up winning, but he felt like they could have put some opponents away, so that's one focus. And then ultimately, really peaking in performance at all the positions, really ready for that sectional play.
Well, Heritage Christian plays a good schedule. Now, outside maybe that first game against Traders Point, they beat a good Shenandoah team at home. They knocked out Guerin Catholic. That was a 3-point game. They have to go to Eastern Hancock, which Eastern Hancock, the Royals are generally always pretty good at home. You beat Cecina by 6, and then as I mentioned against Covenant Christian, you get out to the lead in the first half. You only managed to score in single digits in the second half. You win that one 34-27. That was quite a test. And again, last week, physical game, back and forth. I think that showed a lot about what Heritage Christian is all about when they're winning close games. And if championship teams are going to win championships, you got to win those close games.
Well, we'll step away here as the national anthem and pregame prayer is done here at Heritage, and we'll be back for the kickoff in a moment on Indiana SRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football powered by Indiana SRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at Indiana SRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the Indiana SRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown, safety, first down, holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick, scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on Indiana SRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
David Pierce and Troy Derengowski back once again at Heritage Christian School in Indianapolis. We have the two teams coming out for, I believe, the coin toss here at the outset of this final home game for Heritage Christian in this 2021 season. Well, Troy for Tindley is a football program started in 2012. They struggled early, not many winning seasons, but they did have an undefeated regular season in the 2019 season. They lost in the first game of sectionals to finish 8-1. Coach Graham was an assistant coach on that team. He takes over his first season last year, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone, having your first season be the COVID season of 2021. But they did eke out 3 wins that year, and he really feels like they've kind of got the momentum pushing in the right direction. They don't have a home field, so they're always, that kind of wears on you too over the course of the year, always playing essentially as a road game. He said they do actually have some maroon home uniforms that they were hoping to get to wear, but maybe if they get slotted in the right part of the bracket, in the bottom part of a bracket for a game, he said the kids were super juiced to be able to wear those maroon uniforms. So I hope they get a nice draw and get considered a home team for one of those playoff games this season.
Yeah, that's got to be tough being on the road all the time, and you're still fighting for some respect, and you had that good season a couple of years ago, hoping to build on that. It comes back to the culture of the program. Can you get kids interested in football? Yeah, Tindley is a basketball school.
Yeah. And done very well in basketball.
Very well in basketball. So getting the youth in your program to really buy into what you're doing, it'll start there, get those kids to playing at a young age, and then bring them up. And then by the time they get to high school, football's an automatic for them, and they play both sports.
Yeah, numbers are always important in football at the smaller schools. Heritage now with actually over 50 kids on the team, and that is a high number, at least in recent years. And so those are numbers for both schools trending in the right direction. So we are ready for kickoff here at Heritage. Tindley will kick it away, and back deep to receive is Christian Dora for the Eagles, and he will take it at the 10-yard line, and we are underway at Heritage, and he'll be brought down at the 30, and the Eagles will set up 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Well, I'll be curious, and again, Schlemer's the starting quarterback, as you alluded to earlier, with Kyle Antoine out. It'll be interesting to see, will they start him slow? What will they do with him? I'm sure he has some quarterback experience in there someplace, but now you lose your best receiver as well, but after watching them last week, they've got some other guys who can fill in.
So Schlemer will work with Colton Brown, number 20, in the backfield. And Keegan Broderick will get the start at wide receiver on the bottom side of your screen, with Schlemer moving to quarterback. And Brown will get the call on the first play, and he is going to be hemmed in, but I think there's going to be possibly a face mask out there as Colton Brown tried to work around the left boundary.
Yeah, Brown has good speed to the outside, but one thing you'll notice about this defense for Tindley, I was looking through their numbers, and they have a lot of very quick, talented players, and it all starts up front with number 60, defensive lineman Joe Phillips III, 6'1", 293, has 3 sacks on the year. And they've got guys anywhere from 4, and there's probably 8 or 9 of these guys anywhere from 4 to 6 tackles a game.
And looks like we've got some more whistles.
Check that, it is.
And it looks like they're trying to get the down set in the I think they had moved the chains, and now the chains are back where they need to be on what amounts to 1st and 1, the rare 1st and 1. There is the give to Brown, and nothing cooking. That defensive line for Tindley really had the advantage there. Let's give the tackle credit that time to Joseph Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn is another big force up front. He's got one of those guys, those speed guys on the outside. But you have Pinkston, who goes about 6'4", 212. He's one of the defensive linemen. And as I mentioned, Phillips at 293. It's going to be hard at times to run up the middle against their defense.
So Schlemer once again out of the shotgun. He's got A.J. Neal in there as a blocking back. Brown gets the call up the middle. He's got the first down nearly to midfield, but good run right up the middle that time for Colton Brown as he nears the 1,000-yard rushing mark on this season.
Yeah, we talked about last week how this Heritage Christian offensive line, they are not really big. But if you watched that game last week, their technique in blocking and being able to slide into the right area and open up holes, they may be as good as anybody in 2A in their ability to do that. And then you have Brown that can cut the way he does and see the holes the way he does. You can see why he's the running back he's become.
Colin Thompson, Ethan Orsted, Tim Jackson, A.J. Bradford, and Nick Stewart, the 5 guys on this very successful offensive line. And it's going to be Schlemer on a option to keep it. And again, stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nice play that time by Carl Lee. Actually, just a freshman is Lee, 5'9", 207 pounds.
Yeah, designed run there for Schlamer to see if he could find some running room. That's the second play they've had where they've gained no yards on a running play. We'll see how they can establish a little bit more of a running game here early, which I think is what they're exactly trying to do.
Sophomore Isaac Jones in the ballgame, number 34. He'll be back there with Schlamer, but Brown will get the call, sweeping to the near side across midfield to the 45 and across the 40-yard line. That'll be a first down for Colton Brown. A flag does come in late. Credit the tackle that time for number 10, Donovan Gilder, a senior cornerback for this Tindley team.
Well, you get an idea. Heritage will pull their lineman, and they did so that time with Ethan Ormstead, the senior offensive lineman, leading the block there, and ends up getting a nice gain of 12 yards.
False alarm on the flag. But now the officials do call time. We've got a helmet malfunction.
I think one thing that if Heritage Christian is going to win this game, I think that especially in the running attack, if you can wear that defensive line down, I don't know how much depth they have for Tindley, but I think they've got good speed at the outside, but we see a lot of athletes in those defensive back area and the linebacker area for Tindley.
Schlamer's going to throw a quick screen to the right. That ball is caught by Keegan Broderick, and he's going to bust it down the right side for a touchdown. So Keegan Broderick, the 6'2 senior, takes that to the house, and he has not got a ton of receptions this year. And in fact, for Broderick, that is only his 10th catch of the season and his second touchdown.
You know, they like running that little bubble screen to the outside. We saw him do it last week. Lapel covered it up early, but if you can get these guys out in the open space in that flat and you got those blockers out there, you get an idea just how dangerous they can be no matter who's carrying the football.
Senior place kicker Mateo Jesh on for the extra point. He's 11 out of 12 this season. And it looks like Camden Wolf will have to come out of the game. He was kind of that right wing-back player. He'll be replaced by Josh Harris. Harris getting some additional playing time and starting at that slot position. Again, kind of that gives all the receivers bump up a spot when your starting wide receiver is playing quarterback.
Well, they're going to send him off too.
And now he's going to have to come out. We'll try the third guy. Now will be Luke Peters. Sophomore wide receiver comes in, and it looks like that will suit the officials just fine. And we'll have Schlamer to hold and Jesh on for the extra point. And I thought I heard a whistle.
You
Kick
did.
Is good. And it looks like nothing else going on. So Heritage takes the early 7-0 lead, 9:17 remaining in the first quarter. And we'll be back after this break. You are watching IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
David Pierce and Troy Derengowski back once again at Heritage Christian School. The IUPUI Sport Management Program. Sports management careers are booming. When you're managing the business side of sports, you're always a major player in the game. Our graduates work in crucial and demanding positions in sport organizations and venues, managing arenas and stadiums, handling public publicity for their favorite teams, and developing the market for innovative sport products. Contact us at go.iupui.edu/Indy4Sports.
You know it's a tough night when the kicker forgets the football when he's going out.
Yeah,
to
we're going to need that. So Jesh set to kick it away. That one's kind of a grounder, and it's going to be picked up at the 17-yard line, and that is going to be Davion Hampton, believe, number 3. Yep, and he brings it out to the 25-yard line.
Well, we're going to see a quarterback. Well, let's look at that replay here. Boy, well designed, too. Look at the blockers coming downfield. Those linemen, there's 3 linemen down there blocking.
Boy, Tim Jackson got down quickly there, and along with his O-line mates. Now, Tindley will work with quarterback Dion Richmond, completing 44% of his passes this year, averaging 88 yards per game. He has thrown 2 touchdowns, both of those recently in the last couple of games. And he is just a sophomore, so really working into a comfort level at quarterback.
Well, they've got some confusion already on what they want to run in this first play, and they have to burn an early timeout. This is a close ball game at the end. That'll be interesting to see. Of course, halftime is going to change that a little bit, but if you're looking for something before the half, we'll see how that timeout will affect them.
So we'll take a break and be back in a moment. You're watching Indiana SRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
So it'll be Dion Richmond out of the shotgun. They run a spread offense. 4 wide receivers. Richmond takes the snap. The southpaw quarterback is going to run near side, and he's got some space down the left sideline, Troy, and he is knocked out of bounds. That's a 21-yard gain. Credit the tackle to Colin Thompson there, but a real nice job of awareness that time by Richmond.
Well, that's one thing about it. You got to keep containment. Watch your defensive ends and see how far they get upfield. See, one cut to the inside, and that allowed Richmond to get to the outside, and once he saw the open hole, it was a 21-yard gain.
5 wide receiver set for the Tigers. Pass near side at the 49-yard line is caught, and that ball is caught by Davion Hampton.
Gain of 5.
That's his 9th catch of the year. And that's a good way to stay ahead of the chains there. Now just 2nd and 5.
Yeah, good start here for Tindley, showing that spread offense, especially after not getting that first play, calling the timeout.
There was some movement there early. The quick bubble screen goes out to the sideline. No gain on the play. I thought there was going to be a motion penalty, but that ball caught by Donovan Gilder. They didn't call anything. So it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Well, already Richmond showing his ability to spread the football to different receivers, and he's got plenty. You mentioned Glenn. You've already got Pinkston, who we'll see, I'm sure, at some point. You mentioned Gilder as well a little bit ago, and then, of course, John Quill Muse, a freshman, very talented guy, we'll see tonight as well.
So 3rd down and 5, 4-man front for the Eagles. There's going to be a pass down the sideline, just overthrown, and actually I think someone was open because there were 2 Tindley players and only 1 Heritage defender. Had that ball been about a yard shorter, that could have been a nice completion for Tindley, but instead it falls harmlessly to the ground, and the Eagles hold on the first drive. It's 4th and 5, although let's see if they'll go for it here.
Well, I tell you what, anytime, though, you have a couple of receivers in the same area like that, you begin to wonder maybe somebody ran the wrong route or something happened in that offensive set, because generally in a spread offense, they're nowhere near each other, but a good job by that Heritage Christian defense to hold them.
It is a punt, and that punt is blocked. I think Thompson got his hand on it. It comes down. It's loose. It's still loose. And it looks like Glenn had it for a second. I guess it doesn't matter exactly who recovers it, but the Eagles will have it in the red zone at the 17-yard line. And that was, I believe, Colin Thompson, the junior linebacker and kind of the leader in the middle part of the defense, coming up with the play there.
Yeah, Thompson big last week. He's been a leader in this defense all season long and on special teams. And you're right, he was the guy. And if you look at the other side of the football, boy, Tindley already down 7-0. You don't want to give up the football this deep in your own territory in just the second possession to a high-powered offense like this.
Yeah, that puts the Tiger defense in a tough spot here early in the ball game. So mark the ball. So they're actually going to mark it at the 22-yard line. Colton Brown in the backfield with Schlamer. Three wide receiver set. A.J. Neal in motion across the line. Brown gets the call. Nothing going that time on the left side of the line. And that was a nice job in the interior there by big number 53, Guillermo Garcia.
You know, this puts a lot of pressure on your defense, too, when something happens in special teams. You get a big return, and they just gave up a big touchdown, and now you know your back's against the wall again already. So let's see what this Tindley defense can do. As I mentioned, they've got 7 or 8 guys that are pretty even in the tackle department, but now they need to come up big.
Schlamer takes the snap. Here's a toss to the near side. Colton Brown tries to get around the boundary on the right. He is forced outside, but still kind of sneaks his way down the sideline, knocked out of bounds by Byron Stanfield. But that should set up a 3rd and 2 here.
Well, he's never an easy guy to bring down, and Tindley's going to have to know at some point tonight that, first off, you're not going to arm tackle him. Number 2, he's got great cutback ability, so if you're going to force him one way, you better be ready for somebody else to come because he has the ability to get back on you very quickly.
So 3rd down and 2. Here is Colton Brown. Nice stutter step at the outset of the run, and he powers across the 10 down to the 8-yard line. That's a big first down for Heritage there to keep this drive alive now inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you saw that little step to the left, and then he cuts back to the right because he saw really quickly that there wasn't anything to go to his left, and that's how he was able to get positive yardage.
A.J. Neal in the backfield as well. He'll try to block out to the right, and Colton Brown finds some room. He can just sneak in the tiniest little crevices down there along the sideline and knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
Well, we knew he was going to get a lot of carries, and already 7 carries here in the first quarter alone. He'll end up in the 30s at least here tonight, but you're right. Not only is his cutback ability as good as it is, he just sees the opening so well, whether it's around the outside or the inside. He's just one of the tougher running backs you're going to face.
We'll see if he gets it once again here. He's going to follow A.J. Neal's block and take it down to the 2-yard line. And again, brought down by Guillermo Garcia. And I think Carl Lee was in on that play as well, number 57, and he's just a freshman. So a very young Tindley defense being put to the test.
Yeah, this will be a really, really big down for them if they can somehow get a stop right here, and you probably think Brown may get the call again.
And he does. This one's up the middle, and he is in for the touchdown for Heritage, and Heritage storms out early here midway through quarter number 1 with a 13-0 lead.
He's just so tough to stop down, and we saw that last week against Lapel when they needed a score. He scored the first 3 touchdowns they had, and just that good inside tough running is all it is. Get it between the tackles, let those offensive linemen open up some holes.
Jesh on for the extra point, 12 out of 13 this season. Only missed 1. That one was blocked in the Guerin Catholic game. Good snap, good hold, and it is good.
Extra point is good.
So 6 minutes on the clock here in the first quarter. It is Heritage 14 and Tindley nothing. We'll take a break and be back in a moment. You're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Back once again at Heritage Christian School, Troy Derengowski and David Pierce. Boy, Colton Brown with a touchdown. We'll take a look at it here in a moment after the kickoff. The Eagles up 14-0. Jesh, pretty good leg into that one. That'll come down at the 5-yard line. And they'll bring it back out to the 27-yard line. And the return there by number 3, that is Davion Hampton, who we did not see get any carries on the first drive, but Colton Brown got that carry right up the middle on 3rd and goal from the 2, Troy.
You can see where those 2 interior offensive linemen made that push to the right. That you and I could have ran through that hole at the same time because they opened up such a big hole, but that's good technique blocking right there by Heritage Christian.
So Tindley did get 1 first down on the opening possession and then had to punt it away, and the punt was subsequently blocked. Let's see what they can do on the second drive here. This time the receiver falls down over the middle. Pass was intended for Tyer Miller.
2nd and 10.
And he couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, Richmond now 3 of 5 after certainly having that one big play early in the ball game, which he ran the football, but other than that, throwing the football, they haven't been as successful so far here tonight.
2nd down and 10. Trips to the far side. Richmond, another short pass over the middle. This one was almost picked off. It looked like that was Tyler Marsh probably had the best chance to catch that one. The pass was intended for Donovan Gilder.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time throwing that ball over the middle. This is a Heritage Christian defense that plays that middle very well. I know last week Lopel got him on a couple of deep patterns to the outside, but they're awful hard to throw against over the middle. Those linebackers and DBs are going to play really, really tight anything in that area.
So 3rd down and 10. That is Gilder in motion. Richmond's going to step up, and he's going to dump it off. That is incomplete. A big hit there that time. That was Schlamer coming up to put a good stick on Davion Hampton, and it'll be 4th down.
Schlamer has that advantage being a receiver, of course, playing quarterback tonight. He can read that really well. He's been instrumental as a defensive back all season long. This really never developed from the very beginning because I think Richmond wanted to run it at one point.
Yeah, A.J. Neal putting good pressure on there, too, making that commitment to go up and make the play on the quarterback. So it'll be a punt for Tindley, and the last one, of course, was blocked. So we'll see if they can keep Colin Thompson out of the punter's way here back here.
Well, they're going to come after him again.
Something
somebody didn't hike the football, I don't think.
I don't think the football got hiked, right?
Yeah.
That's that is false start, everyone on the offense, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure, but it almost makes it look like they're giving the football right to Heritage Christian, so I'm not sure if that was a snap that hit somebody that was playing up, one of the up men that were going to be the blockers or not, but that's a huge, huge play again.
Well, we have to go back and take a look at that one, but Heritage has got the ball at the 23-yard line. That's, I guess, effectively the same thing as a block punt, so that is disastrous for the Tindley Tigers on special teams, putting Heritage in or near. This is actually where they got the ball on the previous drive at the 23-yard line. Schlamer, quick screen pass to Brown, 15, follows his blockers to the 10, inside to the 8-yard line before he is finally brought down by Darian Davis. Let's take a look at that punt.
I tell you what.
He recovered it. Yes, the ball did not get snapped appropriately, and then that becomes a loose ball and recovered at the 23. Now the ball at the 8 after 15-yard run for Colton Brown, who has now surpassed 1,000 yards on the season. He'll get actually going to be Schlamer on a keeper, And he's going to pick his way down to the 2-yard line.
Carries it all the way.
Almost makes me think about, did the center think that the punter was underneath center or what? Because it didn't go anywhere.
It just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, so that was a really unusual play. The problem is now you put your defense in a really bad position again. And the one thing the Tindley Tigers cannot do is fall down big time here this early in the ball game and really take the air out of their sails.
It'll be Colton Brown again, stacked up right at the line. Nice job that time in the interior. Joe Phillips III, who has 3 tackles for loss and 3 sacks on the season, the senior, standing in at 293 pounds. He really made the difference on that play.
Well, you're at the situation right now where they're going to go for it. 2 down, you're up 14-0. You got a defense that's on its heels. They've been out there quite a bit. The majority of this opening period of play, you're going to really wear them down. I would call Brown's number again.
And that is what Schlamer does. Brown right up the middle. He powers it in. Touchdown number 2 today, 11 on the season. And Heritage sprints out to a 20-0 lead just 8 minutes into this ball game.
It took them just over, 2 minutes to score again, but special teams play right now has made a huge difference right now for Tindley. They had the block punt and then the muff snap on the punt, and it has cost them here in the first quarter.
Yeah, not making Heritage, quote-unquote, earn it by at least moving it, 75 or 80 yards.
Well, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I certainly like the idea that I can play with a short field of 22, 23 yards instead of 75 or 80.
So Jesh on for the extra point once again. Schlamer to hold. Looks good, and it is good. So Heritage leads this one now 21-0 over Tindley. And we'll be back in a moment. You are watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Colton Brown carries it into the end zone, and Piper Logistics does the same. In 2002, established with the encouragement and financial support of a spirited customer who helped Greg and Tim develop their vision. If you need something transported, just like Colton Brown did the ball to the end zone, contact Piper Logistics. And here is a kickoff return for Tindley. This is a nice return out across the 35-yard line to the 36. That was Tyer Miller, who actually earlier this season did have a 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So he is certainly a playmaker out there in the return game for the Tigers. Troy, here's the touchdown.
Yeah, just follow your blockers. It's about as easy as you can get right there, and those guys up front are dominating that front three, front four that Tindley's trying to throw out there. They just don't have any answers right now. But again, they've got their back against the wall way too much already in this ball game.
Well, Dion Richmond will try to get this offense moving. He sends Tyer Miller in motion across the line. Glenn with the catch out in the flat, and he's going to take it out across the 40, and there's a flag coming in. That was Keegan Broderick ushering him out of bounds, and I'll tell you, Glenn is a load to bring down at 6'3", 227 pounds.
But we do have a flag on the field.
Yeah, he's definitely a big target. In fact, Richmond has a couple of really good targets to work with. It was a 7-yard pass play, but then a face mask added on top of that. And for Glenn, just his first reception of the night, though they've only thrown the football 4, 6, 7 times. 7 times this evening. But then Richmond had those 4 straight incomplete passes. On the last drive, 3 of those incomplete passes in which they had to try to punt the football again. But this is their best field position of the night.
Tyre Miller goes in motion behind the line, but a bad snap has to be covered up by Richmond back at the 49-yard line. And that'll it's what you don't want, setting up a second down and about 16 or 17 yards.
Well, right now, Indianapolis Tindley, their own worst enemy. When you go back to the special teams and then you have a play that is a low snap and you can't hold on to it. And the one thing about it, Richmond did the smart thing, jump on top of it and live for at least one more play.
Yeah, don't want to make it worse than it already is.
Yeah.
On that particular play. And Glenn goes in, and now we've got whistles blowing.
This might be an equipment thing. 53 has something equipment-wise that they have to get taken care of.
And that'll cause a timeout on the play. So Guillermo Garcia has some sort of equipment issue and has to head off. A timeout, Tindley. And are we taking a break here? Yep, so we'll take a break here and be back in a moment on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Second down and 17, ball right about midfield for Richmond. He's got a man open over the middle. This is Glenn, the tight end. He gets the yards back that they lost, and he breaks a tackle. Jersey getting pulled, but then he fumbled it, but was he down? What is the call? Football was recovered by Heritage. I think he was down.
Yeah, I believe he was, as well as that ball squirted out there very late. Big break, though, for Tindley. Didn't get the first down, but he got a lot of that real estate back. That would have been a terrible turnover right there if they lose the football.
That's Glenn's 14th reception of the season, second today. And now it's third and manageable at 3rd and 5.
Gain of 11 makes it 3rd and 6.
Richmond stands in, fires. He's got a man open, but it was behind the intended receiver, which was...
Yeah, wait for him to make the
turn. Turn. That is the...
Is that number 0?
I can only see half. I think that was Jaden Pinkston.
Okay.
That's number 8.
Number 8.
Yeah, the pad on the jersey was covering it. So that is Pinkston, who they need to desperately get involved in the offense. And he was open. That pass just behind him. So 4th down and 5. Let's see if Tindley can keep the drive going here. Richmond's going to fire one deep, and it's going to be too far overthrown. And in coverage that time, nicely for the Eagles, was Jonathan Vandermeer, I believe.
You know, one thing that you see Tindley, they make a couple of nice plays, do that little dink and dunk thing and try to get some yardage. Not really sure why they tried to go for the whole package right there and try to get everything back, because bottom line is what you do is really go with what's working, right? And they went away from that once again, and I really think they need to just continue to do that because now defense is back out on the field again.
Well, I think that play that they ran on 3rd down, I think that play is going to be there today.
Yeah.
And just could not connect. So the Eagles will take over 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. little bit of a low snap. Schlamer fires one to Neal on the near side. He's got it out to the 40, 45 across midfield, and he is upended right there by Donovan Gilder, the senior cornerback. But a good run by Neal. And those are the kind of passes that Schlamer can connect on. We've seen some wide receiver screens, and we've seen some screens to Colton Brown and to A.J. Neal just to get that confidence up throwing the football in a real game.
And you're not making Schlamer do too much. You're not going to throw downfield as much and try to get something big. Just let him do what we said that we thought Tindley should do, get something small, let those guys do the rest of the work.
Here's to give to Brown. He's going to pound for 5 yards in the interior. Brought down by number 56, Lamar Worthman. And can we have a injury there? I don't know. Byron Stanfield is slow to get up. 5'8", 195-pound junior for Tindley is down, and we've got an official's timeout on the field. So we're going to take a break with Heritage leading 21-0. You're watching IndianaSRN. Colton Brown with a first down run, another 5 yards to the 39-yard line, and this time Brown will not get it. Schlamer will keep it, and he breaks a few tackles, picks up 3 more yards. Nice pursuit that time by Asaph Mosey, a freshman linebacker. And once again, we're saying a lot of freshman and sophomore defensive players for Tindley. So this will pay off for them in future years, but tough to get this Heritage team stopped tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really difficult for guys who haven't played, because this offensive line, we saw what they did earlier against the guys that had been established already. That's going to make it much, much tougher for Tindley the rest of the way.
Under 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter. Here is Schlamer sprinting near side. He's going to fire one to the sideline. And, ooh, that one was dropped. That was in the paws of junior Christian Dora, but could not make the catch on the sideline.
Well, Dora's not a big target that you would look at. He hasn't played a whole lot from a standpoint of playing in important games, and certainly when games are still within striking distance. It was generally Broderick is out there. You know, Neal, we've got Jones, who we haven't seen yet tonight, number 34. He's able to go out and catch some footballs as well. But listen, I like the play. He catches it. You have another first down.
It's a big play for the Tindley defense. The Tigers need a stop here to get the Eagles off the field. Another 3 wide receiver set. Kyle Ray, Coach Ray likes this type of formation, but we've got a flag. That may be a delay of game, Troy. And it is.
Yeah, just a little confusion on exactly what they wanted to line up, and took Schlamer a little bit more time. Now he's got to get used to, as a quarterback, keeping his eye on that play clock as well, but they're going to call a timeout, talk about it.
Yep, so we did a timeout on the field with the Eagles up 21-0. The IHSAA Foundation. Catch up with what's going on with the IHSAA Foundation. Subscribe to their newsletter, The Advocate. To get on that newsletter list, you can email IHSAAfoundation.org.
By the way, the one other game, in fact, we have several games on our networks tonight. One of the radio games we have, an updated score, Mount Vernon now leading Shelbyville 29-0 as they play that game early on.
Of course, Heritage comes into this contest one of 6 undefeated teams in 2A, and they head the IndianaSRN football poll. IndianaSRN has Heritage at number 1, followed by Fort Wayne Lures, Andrean, Eastbrook, and Tipton. 3rd down and 11 for Heritage. They need to get the ball inside the 30-yard line. Schlamer takes a snap, and we've got more whistles.
Flag down, stoppage of play.
And that may go against the Eagles for a false start.
Like a false start.
Yeah, certainly a lot different than what we saw early on when they got excellent field position and were able to pretty much dominate everything there. But now things kind of, I would imagine, though it's very early in the ball game, to have your focus go away. But you're up 21-0. Now let's refocus, get ourselves reestablished. I thought at one time it was going to be 4-down territory, but now you're 3rd down and 16. I still wouldn't be surprised if Heritage went for it, knowing the way their defense has played early on in this game, and leave it back up to Tindley to try to produce something on offense.
Josh Harris split out as the lone wide receiver left and then trips to the near side. Schlamer takes a low snap. He's going to fire a screen to Brown. He's got it. He's got blockers out in front, and he's got room. He's got the sideline, and he's going to have the touchdown. What a nicely developed screenplay there. The offensive line very active getting down the field. That play opened up right away. The Eagles have 4 touchdowns on the board here in the first quarter and lead 27-0.
Or the other thing you can do instead of worrying about going on in 4th down is throw it to Brown, let him run it in. Again, you throw that little screen pass. Did you see the blockers? And hopefully we'll get a chance to see it again. Those linemen were out there, and that opened up a hole. Those guys, not really big, as we said, on the inside, but they're able to get it and get those blocks and get the touchdown.
Busy first quarter for place kicker Mateo Jesh. He'll get his 4th opportunity for an extra point. Bit of a high snap. They actually got some pressure that time, but the extra point is good. Heritage leads 28-0, and we'll take another break here. Yes, take a break and be back in a moment on Indiana SRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Hey, Troy, I've got a really good idea. If you want to stay up to date on IHSAA sports news, do it at IndianaSRN.org or
the
Troy at RadioTroy.com. I think it'd be a good idea.
I hope so. It's put together every day. We hope you enjoy it, plus high school football games.
And here is Miller with another kickoff return. He's got speed. He's got some room out across the 40, but saw a yellow hanky flying across the bottom portion of the screen.
There is a flag on the field.
And I'm guessing that is not on Heritage. And it is a hold on Tindley.
Ball is holding.
We get you up to another score. Owen Valley leading Greencastle, one of the other games on our Indiana SRN Sports Network, 7-3. We mentioned Mount Vernon is leading Shelbyville in the second quarter, 36-0, and West Central over Frontier, 8-0. Real quick, so far tonight, unofficially, Heritage Christian 181 yards of total offense, which is amazing since they've had the short field all night long, but it helps to have a 45-yard touchdown pass like this one. Only 40 total yards so far tonight for Tindley.
Well, you've got 4 offensive linemen downfield. And really, it just took the one push by Stewart there, number 76, to spring Colton Brown to the end zone. Here's a give up the middle. A.J. Neal coming up and making a hit alongside Tim Jackson, who leads the team with 6 tackles for loss and 6 sacks on the season. And that will be the final play of quarter number 1. We will head to the break with Heritage leading 28-0. You're watching Indiana High School football on Indiana SRN. David Pierce and Troy D back at 75th and Benford in Indianapolis. Heritage Christian leading 28-0 over the Tindley Tigers. And Troy, it was a dominant first quarter for this Heritage football team.
Well, they only had the one hiccup on that drive, but they made up for it on the 45-yard touchdown screen pass to Brown. They had a couple of penalties in there, but their defense has been solid. As we mentioned, only 40 yards of total offense so far for Tindley. They're able to stop the run. They're able to stop anything downfield. We saw a couple of little short passes by Richmond and Tindley, and I think they're going to have to go back to that if they're going to get into this ball game. But right now, look how many players are in the box right there on this defense. It's hard to get by them so far tonight.
They need to get Jaden Pinkston stretching the defense deep. He is their big play threat. Let's see if they can find him. It's a screen pass to Hampton, and he is going to be brought down right there after a gain of 1 by Colin Thompson. And Coach Ray has just been so impressed with the play of Colin Thompson this year. He is just that one. You need that one guy that just the other team can't block or it's really tough to. Colin Thompson is that guy for this Eagles defense.
Yeah, he's just everywhere, and we saw it on special teams earlier tonight. And as you said, he's one of those defensive leaders, and you can use all the different descriptions you want, but the guy's just a hard-nosed football player, loves to make tackles, loves to make plays, and really gets the job done for a defense that has really, really come up big again tonight.
Dion Richmond works out of the gun again. Looks to fire as a pass caught by Miller, and he is going to be knocked out after a pickup of a couple of yards. Taylor Miller with the reception, knocked out of bounds by Cameron Wolf, senior cornerback for Heritage. That'll set up third down and about 5. Or no, that was third down. So that is short, and it'll be 4th and 4.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something. I don't mind the swing pass so much, but Heritage Christian, we talked about that earlier in the ball game. Their DBs play so well in coverage, and they read that really well. It'll come up and stop that short of a first down. And now you're almost forced now to go for it on first down. Or I should say on 4th down right here. Nope, they're going to punt it away. But
it is the punt, and it's going to come down to Schlamer at the 43, and he's got a covered. He does. That is going to be a block in the back.
Yep.
A.J. Neal. But there was actually another flag down before that.
Yeah, my mistake at the other end of the way that the camera angle was. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't see the punter back there.
Surprise.
Surprise.
There's a punter back there.
Because I thought, boy, that'd be a really gutsy call right there, but you're down 28-0. I figured maybe what do you got to lose, but you certainly don't want to have your defense back out there that deep again.
And we've seen that scene play out already. So let's see. There was a penalty that came down before the block by Neal, so I actually don't think that block is what they called, but I'm not sure what would have been happening there.
You know, I would never, and we'll talk about something at halftime where they're trying to recruit high school football officials. They have a clinic coming up that will be beneficial to get more men and women involved in high school officiating, but I would never be able to figure that out. I'd say you guys have to tell me where it's going to go because I have no idea.
So it was a block in the back. That's marked off from the spot of the foul, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Heritage at the 24-yard line. And again, it'll be A.J. Neal and Colton Brown in the backfield with Schlamer. They're going to turn Schlamer loose on a pass here, and he does fire one, and it is caught by Broderick, and as he got his feet in bounds, and that gain is good out to the 31-yard line.
You know, you get Schlemer out on the run, and he throws the ball really well on the run. I was kind of surprised by that, but you give him a chance to throw it, doesn't have to worry about staying in the pocket. I really like what they're doing with Schlemer tonight.
Now, one thing we may not get an answer to today if Heritage doesn't punt, but Antoine, their quarterback, was also their punter. So I'm not sure what Coach Ray has planned for punting the football, but that has not been of material concern thus far.
Didn't see it last week, so maybe they'll need one.
Schlemer out of the gun. Good snap. Here's the give to Colton Brown coming near side. There's that patented cutback, but this time Tindley is there. Nice job by the Tindley defense, led by Jeffrey Pinkston. So the Pinkston brothers out there every play defensively. That time Jeffrey Pinkston, the junior, comes up and makes the hit.
Yeah, their best defensive play against the run with Brown. You saw that cutback you mentioned a little bit ago. That could have been a really big play if they don't make the tackle right there, because once he gets into that second level, Brown, and we saw early on the little screen pass, he's got good speed, and he can find that opening really easily.
So another first down gain for Colton Brown. Keeps the chains moving. Tindley needs to get some pressure on Schlemer here to speed him up a little bit. Here's Broderick on the screen. Pickup of 3. And I'll tell you, Tindley is hitting hard out there on defense right now. Pinkston alongside Asaph Mosey on the tackle.
Well, another really nice screen to the outside, but read well, and you know, once you get those blockers out front, it can be awful tough to do, but you had good pursuit from the inside, and the defense pursued very well, held it to a short gain. Now you got to do it again right here.
Yeah, nice play by Asaph Mosey, diagnosing that one early and getting out to the edge to make the play. Schlemer is designed quarterback key. I think he fumbled the football, and it is recovered. Johnny on the spot that time was Colton Brown. Well, that was a missed opportunity by Tindley. That ball languished on the ground for a few seconds, and I don't think anybody saw it but Colton Brown.
Well, and Heritage they don't fumble the football much, so it come to a surprise to a lot of us, but it was just a real interesting strip. Just got one hand on it right there and able to take it away.
Was that Glenn that got a hand on it?
Yeah.
And yeah, Heritage, I believe, only 3 turnovers on the entire season through 7 games. Coach Ray has been very happy about the lack of turnovers this year. And here's Brown up the middle, breaks one tackle, powers right through Pinkston, and carries it out to the 46-yard line, which is enough for a first down.
The toughest 9 yards you'll ever see, because you saw there at the end, though he got hit a couple of times at the line of scrimmage and it maybe a yard or two after. Watch what he does at the end of this run. There's a hit. Look at this. He's got 3 guys on him right there, and he's still driving ahead with those legs. Just a powerful running back inside.
First down for the Eagles, just shy of midfield. Looking to extend their 28-point lead here early in the second quarter. Toss out to the near side for Colton Brown. An awkward start to the play, but he still finds room across midfield to the 49-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by the junior linebacker, Brian Stanfield.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest of their plays so far here tonight, but certainly want to get the ball in the hands of Brown if they can, because they could really put this game, I think the 28 probably is enough, but they could really put this thing out of hand right here in the first half.
And that would give you an opportunity to bring in some guys that haven't gotten a lot of playing time this season, and really you're into, potentially resting your starters, keeping guys away from injury.
Yep.
And really being able to be in a good spot heading into sectional play. Of course, the sectional draw on Sunday. There's a terrible snap. That ball never got off the ground. Schlemer just has to fall right on top of it. And then Heritage calls a timeout right immediately after that play. So we'll take it with them. The Eagles lead 28-0 over the Tigers. We'll be back. You're watching Indiana football on IndianaSRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
David Pierce and Troy Derengowski back at Heritage Christian School. It's 3rd down and 9 for Heritage. They lead 28-0. Tindley has not been able to stop Heritage on any of the previous 4 drives. This is a good spot for Tindley to make a stop.
Well, and if I'm Heritage Christian right now, and again, they're still trying to figure some things out from an offensive standpoint with Schlamer, quarterback, and we've seen a lot of low snaps out of the center tonight. The last one cost them a few yards, as you see jumping up front. But I think they're still going to need to figure out some things. How long will Antoine be out? I know you got a timeline. You never know about the return off an injury. So they want to be as sharp as they can going into the tournament. So, you know, you see a few maybe experimentations going on tonight to see how Schlamer will handle some things. And it hasn't been a very clean ball game from a standpoint of the mistakes we've seen on Tindley's side. And then we've seen just some things that happen with Heritage Christian's offense that you normally wouldn't see.
So they end up calling that on Tindley, and I thought, by the way, that Ethan Orsted reacted on the offensive line. I think it appeared like he thought maybe he was the guilty party. He's kind of smacking himself upside the head.
Well, he always catches a second one. You know, It's like when you punch some guy and you turn around, you get punched back. Well, they got him because he didn't catch the first one, so maybe that's what he saw.
So Dora and Broderick, the wide receivers, to the right. It'll be Harris to the left. Schlamer takes the shotgun snap. He's rolling out to the right. He's going to keep it, and he is going to be brought down short of the sticks. Great job by the Tindley defense there. Brian Stanfield, and that was Pinkston, Jeffrey Pinkston. They converge to make the stop, and let's see what the Eagles will do here.
I think you go for it. 28-0, 8:25 to go in the quarter, and you may have to go for it on 4th down and 4 sometime down the road. So back to the same thing. A coach can see something on film of how we handled this situation and what did we do with Schlamer at quarterback, and I think it's the right call.
So we'll see what Coach Ray's got drawn up here. Another 3 wide receiver set. Almost, I don't know, we got whistles blowing. I think he got back. Guillermo Garcia.
Well, no, they called it. Heritage called the timeout.
Okay, so we've got that was just coincidental that he did a little mini jump. No, is it timeout Tindley or timeout?
Timeout.
There's a timeout on the field. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching Indiana SRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Because land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Fourth down and 4. Heritage with the football resting at the 47-yard line. Looks like they are going to go for it here on 4th down.
4th and 3 for the Eagles.
Good call.
Here's the snap. The give to Colton Brown coming near side. He's got the edge, the cutback. The jersey gets pulled, but he's got the first down to the 37-yard line. Another good 10-yard run for Colton Brown. Credit the tackle to freshman Carl Lee, number 57. But again, just too much Heritage offensive line.
Well, you got your guard pulling right there. Look at the block
Big
he
block.
laid on. I mean,
boy, he got 3 guys. Boy, he did. Colin Thompson had 3 great blocks in about a 2-second span on that one.
Well, they really pull well, but they're very, very quick at the offensive line.
Fresh set of downs for the Eagles. Here's a quick pass. That's to Broderick, 35-30, 25, breaks the tackle, gets away, and there is Broderick into the end zone for another Heritage touchdown.
And his third reception of the night.
And I believe that is first, I think that is it. Nope, that is his second touchdown reception of the season. He had one coming into tonight's game.
Well, they like that little bubble screen, and we have seen it work all night long. You get those guards and those linemen that are able to pull. You got the receivers that are blocking downfield. Once you get that, and, of course, he broke some tackles. That wasn't great tackling by Tindley. You're going to have a lot of ability to score with this type of offense.
This is just about the perfect scenario for Schlamber to come in and have a first game. You get him screen passes to the running backs and the wide receivers, get him some success early, get the confidence up. And Jesh is perfect tonight, 5 for 5. And Heritage leads this one now 35-0 over Tindley. And we'll be back after this important message from our sponsor. You're watching Indiana football on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Second. David Pierce and Troy D back at Heritage Christian School. The Eagles lead it 35-0. We'll take a peek at that touchdown here after Jesh's kickoff. And let's see if Miller gets his hand. No, this one goes all the way to the end zone. That is a touchback. Let's look at Schlammer's second touchdown pass of the day. This one goes to Keegan Broderick.
By the way, 3 touchdown passes. I mentioned to you a little bit ago. It's 2, but it's 3 tonight.
3 touchdown passes. A great move there at the 25-yard line, Troy.
Had the blockers out front, but again, the rest of it was up to Broderick once he broke that last tackle. It's just a foot race to the end zone. And I really like, and we saw it last week, when they played lapel, that little bubble screen, and let those guys do the rest of the work. And you're right. That's how Schlammer will be much more comfortable getting the ball into the hands of his. Look at that block. That's the earlier
Here's
play.
Their block. That was Thompson out getting 3 blocks in 2 seconds and being very physical, and that's what this offensive line has been all season long. Richmond takes the snap. He's got a man in the flat, but he's going to roll the other side, fire one, and this one is going to be picked off. That's Broderick, who just had the touchdown on offense. He comes near side, looks to get around the edge, and he's finally going to be cut down at the 25-yard line.
Broderick likes that end zone, so he thought maybe I'll try it again on the other side, but another big mistake by Tindley, and one they really couldn't afford. They try to go for something long once again. Now, Richmond is only completing about 40% of his passes, so anything downfield, and you get a pretty good idea right here. There weren't a whole lot of guys open. He just tried to force it right there, and it was double coverage. Guy playing behind, that was Broderick, and saw it extremely well, and a nice return.
So Broderick having a career day today, getting some more time on offense with Schlammer at wide receiver, and then getting the nod defensively now midway through the second quarter.
Heritage has had the football at the 22, the 23, the 37, the 24, and now 25 yard line. The only one they had deep in their own territory was one time, but other than that, everything else has been inside the 50 of Indianapolis Tindley. So it's been a long night for this Tindley defense already in the first half. By the way, a couple of scores real quick. Lawrence Central leading Ben Davis in the second, 15-8. Cathedral beating Brebeuf 21-7 in the second. Center Grove, a winner right now over Lawrence North, big 29-6. You get a pretty good idea why Center Grove is number one in 6A. Park Tudor leading Covenant Christian 21-7 in the second, and Owen Valley leading Greencastle in the second 31-3.
Well, about ready to get the ball back into play, although the official's working on something on the far sideline. Not exactly sure what the delay is. Talking with the coach. Can't hear, can we, Troy?
Nope, can't hear it, can't read their lips either, so I'm not sure what it is about, and certainly the coach had some kind of concern, apparently either where the football is at, whatever play happened at the end of the last play, whatever it might have been, but apparently got the answer he wanted or an answer he didn't like, and there's nothing he can really do about it at this stage, but now he's got to worry about his defense deep in their own territory.
Ball resting at the 25-yard line. Another, as you mentioned, great field position. That ball is loose on the ground, and they're going to say Schlamer was down after having recovered it. And so we have seen now today, probably the only mistake for Heritage all day has been some of the QBC exchanges.
Yeah, and you know what? And again, we saw it earlier. They only get marked to the 30 right there, but we saw it earlier. That's something they'll really have to clean up. Look at this, really. Well,
that
actually,
was on Schlamer.
Yeah,
he just got ahead of himself, I think.
He just took his eye off the football right there. He's ready to give it to Brown, and before he had an opportunity just to keep it clean. So
I don't know that he was down all that much there, so that was it could have been a return there for Tindley, but the ball is marked with a 5-yard loss. Dora in motion to the near side, and Schlamer with a quick pass to Colton Brown. Another screen. Brown cuts back, shimmies around, and takes it back to the original line of scrimmage. David Pinkston makes the tackle there along with Carl Lee, and Carl Lee has had a very active day for the Tindley defense.
So they've had all of them have had an active day from a standpoint of being out on the field quite a bit tonight. I don't know what the time of possession is, but right now Heritage Christian just dominating in that area, and they threw that little screen again. I think you're going to see that a lot as far as what these starters will go through here tonight, just getting Schlamer more comfortable throwing the football out on the flat.
3rd down and 10. Here is a pass to the sideline. This one is caught out there by Harris. No, that's actually by Dora. And he is brought down short of the 1st down. Great coverage and immediate tackle that time by Donovan Gilder. That'll set up 4th down and 6. And no need to punt here. I don't know that this is in Jesh's field goal range. So the Eagles will go for it on 4th and 6.
I like that last play. Something we haven't seen Schlamer do tonight is throw to the opposite side like that and make the pass a little bit further downfield. So I think that's something out of a comfort level they really now like to see on film.
Here is Schlamer again, firing one deeper. He's got a man. That is caught by Broderick again. He's got 2 touchdowns in a row here. His 3rd touchdown reception of the season in a breakout game today for the senior on senior day here at Heritage, Keegan Broderick.
Well, you saw the touch of Schlamer right there. He just laid it out there, and when Broderick made that move down the sideline on the stride, right where the receiver wanted the football. Great, great pass.
Just like playing ball in the backyard or at recess, isn't it, Troy?
Exactly.
See if Jesh can keep his extra points pure today. Looking for the 42nd point of the day. Snap is there, the kick is up, and it is good. And the Eagles take a 42-0 lead. Just under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching football on IndianaSRN.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry-out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Well, Troy, the Heritage Eagles out to a 42-0 lead as we take a look at the very excited Heritage student section. All season long, they've had all kinds of interesting costumes and outfits. There has been a theme for every game that I've seen them at this season, and today is no different.
That keeps them involved. I know they have a lot of fun, and they're following a football team that, if everything goes right, they can make a really deep run in the tournament. I'd be excited, too, on a beautiful Friday night.
And that kick is going to go. That's the way you keep it out of Miller's hand. That's been their threat all day, is Miller on the kickoff return, but Jesh is able to get that one into the end zone. So the Eagles just need one more win this season after today to secure their first undefeated regular season in school history. And Coach Ray said he's not focused on that necessarily, but he did mention it to me on the phone when I talked to him this week. So he's not focused, but he did mention it.
Well, you got to think about it, because it is a history-making season even to this point, and they're hoping that it's going to be more of a 15-0 season by the time it's all said and done, and a state championship at the end of the year.
Do we still have the same quarterback? It looks like maybe a different quarterback. Is that Dion Richmond, 11 out there?
It does not appear to be Richmond,
He looks smaller.
Yeah.
And not left-handed. So we'll get you that in a second. That ball is caught, gain of 2. Is that Byron Stanfield? Is that number 1? That ball was caught by Davion Hampton.
Pass complete to Hampton.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from where we are.
Loss of 2 yards.
Well, they're going to say a loss of 2 yards.
Loss of 2? That's my fault. Can we get a close view of the quarterback there? Now 2nd down and 12. Definitely a new quarterback in the ball game. And thank you. That's number 6. What? I can't tell.
It is hard to tell.
Oh, it's Luke. Oh, there's a big hit by Colin Thompson.
It's
number 6. Okay, good. So that's Tyre Miller. That's a good choice. He is one of their playmakers. Has not had a ton of time at quarterback this season, and in fact, he is 5 out of 8 on the season for 107 yards. Third down and 14, a loss of 2 on each of those plays.
Let's say, that guy that was in motion, that touched him too. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that quite what they were trying to do there, but there's just the offensive cohesiveness isn't there right now.
Miller will fire this one over the middle, and it is caught. Pickup of a couple. Pass caught by Donovan Gilder. But Miller thought they might run him a little bit out of the quarterback position with him there, but instead they did pass it. I tell you, Dion Richmond has a pretty good arm, but I think at 42-0 they're going to take a different look.
Well, yeah, and he threw that interception in his last one, and again, he has not been as accurate tonight as they'd hope he would be, so you're forced to punt the football again because you just can't get anything going on offense, and this is going to be plenty of time for Heritage Christian to take over the football right here.
Great punt. Schlamer retreats all the way to the 20-yard line and then goes out at the 22. So perhaps, there will be one more offensive possession for Heritage. We'll see if the starters stay out. Looks like they are going to play through the first half here with the starters and then obviously do something different in the second half. But a really nice punt. That was about a 50-yard punt for Tindley.
Yeah, go back to Richmond, and again, it's unofficial. I had him 4 of 13 tonight with the interception. He had a stretch there where he had 7 of 9 passes incomplete. Not all his fault, but a couple of times where he just wasn't on target, and especially the last one, he just so far in this first half has. Maybe they'll bring you back in the second half, but it hasn't been his night thus far.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Troy. Do you have numbers on Schlamer passing the football?
I can get them for you.
Okay, all right. So Colton Brown with the call, but he is stacked up immediately. Great play there by Jeffrey Pinkston, and he has been active in the interior. The Tindley defense has had their moments, but they've not been able to get Heritage off the field, and in particular on some key third downs have then ultimately given up the big play. as the clock churns down to about the 2-minute mark of this first half. Second down and 14. Schlamer will work out of the shotgun. It looks like another screen. They're going to find Colton Brown on this one, but actually that ball is incomplete. Colton Brown probably hearing the footsteps that time. Coming up from the cornerback position there, I believe, was Donovan Gilder.
Yeah, Brown started to take off as well before he had a hold of the football, and sometimes those balls out in the flats, you can kind of hear those guys coming, so don't blame him one little bit. I'm still adding up the yardage, by the way.
Still adding. Boy, he's got the tabulator going. Christian Dora will be the lone wide receiver near side. 2 wide receivers to the far. On third down and 14. Let's see if Tindley can get Heritage off the field. There's a sprint out. Pinkston providing pressure. Schlamer throws long pass, and it is. Oh, it was in the hands of Broderick. And I'll tell you what, Schlamer had some heat on that pass, and that was really right in the right spot. So Schlamer stretching out. The coach is calling some passes a little bit farther to see what he can do on longer passes. Now, what will they do to punt the ball here? Because, again, Antoine was the punter for the team as well. And we're about ready to find out, because on 4th and 14, I would assume that that's what's going to happen. And they have punted the ball all year out of the shotgun formation with the quarterback. So that has been the formation. There's the step back. Oh, we've got Glenn jumping off sides. That, I think it was, yep. So there's an encroachment on Tindley.
By the way, real quick, Schlamer, 9 of 15. He was just a little bit ago 9 of 13 before those 2 incomplete passes for 202 yards.
Okay, so a really nice first half. That 202 yards is what Antoine was averaging on the season, yards per game-wise, right on the button.
Yeah, you have completions of 41, 24, 45, 37, and 21, which helps as well. So
Schlamer will work back into that punt formation. Gets the kick away, and a decent kick here. Ball hits at the, and it's going to roll down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. So Tindley will take over there, and we'll see where they go quarterback-wise. Again, they brought on Tyer Miller in the last drive.
Well, you're looking now, and again, we'll take a look at this punt here. You're probably looking more now, if you're Tindley, thinking, okay, listen, we're probably not going to win this game. I mean, let's just be honest about it. But we've got to find a way now to do something positive on both sides of the football, and we'll throw in special teams because that's been kind of a sore spot for them tonight as well. So they've got to find something positive, and don't make another mistake here before halftime.
So Tyer Miller, the junior, in at quarterback for the second possession of the game. He gives to Gilder on the jet sweep, looks for room, finds a little bit, and brought down at the 46-yard line from behind. In pursuit that time was Broderick, so just adding to that impressive stat line.
Yeah, that's the best run they've had in quite some time since Richmond had a 21-yard run early in the ball game. That was in that first
possession, yeah. They got that initial first down, and then not much since then. And looks like Tindley, they call a timeout. We'll say they did. I think Tindley called timeout there. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
David Pierce and Troy D back at Heritage Christian School. Second down and 5 for Tindley, looking to get something on the board here before the first half ends, looking for something positive They did force Heritage to punt for the first time today on the previous possession. That's Richmond. Isn't that Richmond back in the game? He fires one out in the flat. It is caught. Pickup of 2 yards. That time, Tyre Miller makes the reception. So the coaches have decided to go back to Dion Richmond, 6'5" sophomore quarterback for Tindley. Clock now under a minute. 3rd down and 5.
Well, he's going to be your best bet if you're going to win football games in the tournament.
Absolutely.
So, you might as well, if you're going to try to win football games, go with a guy that's got you wins over the last couple of weeks.
Here's that ball. I think Dion Richmond was hit as he threw, and they're going to, I think, call a personal foul on Ethan Orsted. He definitely got a hand on it, which made the ball wobble, but he may have not done it in a legal way.
Well, let me tell you what, you have as a lineman, especially if you're an edge rusher, and you have all that momentum going toward the quarterback, you have to make that decision. Am I going to hit him? Because you don't know, he might be just pumping once. So you got to make a quick decision whether you hit him or not. And I think that's really, really tough on defenders and whether you lay off a quarterback or not. Unfortunately, he got caught that time.
Glenn, the big tight end, in motion. Richmond takes the snap. Here's a pass out into the flat. It's caught across the 50 to the 40-yard line, now to the 30. And that is Tyre Miller. And you can really see his speed there, Troy.
Yeah, 25-yard pass play. That is, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, their biggest pass play of the night. But, again, you got the athlete out on the outside, able to get that bounce right there and good speed. And they've got the athletes, just got to get the ball into the right hands. But, again, you're up against a good defense.
Not heard from Jaden Pinkston in this game at all. And that credits Sam Graves out there, number 33. First year playing football. It has done a great job picking up the game. Coach Ray said he just has an incredibly high football IQ and has picked up the game impressively. That ball was, I thought it was incomplete, but that ball was actually caught, and then Miller comes up limping, and he is.
Yeah, he kind of did the splits.
Yeah, I don't think he's faking it just to get the clock stopped. I mean, you could tell he landed in a way that I don't particularly want to land.
No, yeah, he might have hurt a groin right there on that one for sure.
Well, we'll take a break here. 8 seconds to go in the first half. You're watching Indiana SRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Eight seconds remaining in the first half. Heritage leading 42-0 here at Heritage Christian School on Indianapolis's northeast side. And looks like Tyre Miller is up and able to walk off under his own power, which is good. He came down awkwardly after a reception. It probably would have been better off just to drop that pass with the clock running and no timeouts, but did make the reception. It looks like now I would say Richmond just give this a run to Pinkston in the end zone. Just jump ball it to Pinkston, see if he can come down with one.
Yeah, got to go to the end zone right here. No time really to work with, and the clock is now running.
Pinkston will take a run down to the end zone, and the ball is knocked loose. Neal couldn't come up with it. Now it's picked up. It's fumbled again. Thompson had it, lost it. It's the old fumbling it around, and it finally goes out of bounds, and that is Coach Ray's brother, I believe, is the one that picked up the ball there at the end, out of bounds, and that is the final play of the first half that Heritage has dominated, and they lead 42-0. And that was Orsted really coming in there and knocking that ball loose. So credit Orsted with a forced fumble. And then thought for a second Thompson might pick it up and scoop and score on it, but it does finally go out of bounds. And Heritage has that 42-0 lead, making the homestanding fans happy as we head to halftime on Indiana.
I'm going to say real quick, you were lucky it wasn't 49 because I'll tell you, it's real close to being returned.
Now you're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday night, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Game day on Indiana SRN. And now here's a special message from Assistant Commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Sandra Walter.
In cooperation with the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Indiana SRN would like to thank the men and women who officiate our sports contests. Congratulations to the following officials who've been selected as Official of the Year in their respective sport. This distinction is based on service to student athletes, coaches, and community over decades. These men and women have given countless hours to promoting and ensuring that education-based athletics are afforded to your student athlete. In cross country, Mr. Ted Knopfsinger. Soccer for 21-22, Mr. Lawrence Lohner. In volleyball in the north, Mr. Steve Klein. And in football in Lake County, Mr. Fred Schob. If you'd like to become an IHSAA official, please contact Sandra Walter at the IHSAA office. Phone number 317-846-6601. And a huge thank you to Mr. Keith Meyer and Indiana SRN for being such an advocate to our officials, our student athletes, and our administrators of 407 member schools across the state of Indiana. We certainly thank you for the support and the constant effort to promote all that is good about education-based athletics.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
I am Heritage.
Heritage Christian. We are Heritage.
I am Heritage.
We are Heritage.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Another big hand for our mighty.
It's halftime at Heritage Christian School on Youth Football Night. The youth football team's getting introduced here in front of the home Eagle fans. The Eagles varsity leads this one 42-0, and Troy, it was an impressive first half performance on the scoreboard, but also on the stat sheet.
Well, no doubt about it. You had, as you mentioned earlier, Broderick with a great game in the first half, a breakout game. You have Schlamer starting at quarterback tonight because of the injury that you had to Antoine, and other than a couple of hiccups in there, you really didn't miss a beat. Able to throw those screen passes, those bubble screens, let those guys do the rest of the work. We saw what the offensive line could do with the blocking on the inside, get on the outside and provide blocking there as well. So really Heritage Christian kind of set the tone early thanks to some Tindley mistakes too. And Tindley, though they've won their last two games, you can't make mistakes against a top 5 team like Heritage Christian, because if you make a mistake, they will take full advantage of it, and they did that. And even though you look at Heritage Christian unofficially, 296 yards of total offense, but they played in a short field most of the night, so having 296 is pretty impressive. And then you hold Tindley to just 49 total yards. Of course, that last play didn't help there at the end, but Tindley just can't get their offense going against a very aggressive defense. They played a lot of guys in the box. They were going to dare Richmond to throw the football, and he had a rough first half when you consider he only threw for 54 yards and then had that interception at the end. So overall, I think this score is kind of what we expected in a lot of ways. We thought maybe Tindley could put some points on the board, but their offense just isn't there tonight.
It has not been there so far, and I know Colton Brown had at least one touchdown run. What were his stats there in the first half?
Well, Brown 18 of 82, 18 carries, 82 yards, and the 2 touchdowns. The real impressive one was Broderick, 4 receptions over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns in the first half, and Schlamer with the 3 touchdowns and 202 yards passing. So they've been kind of the three-headed monster in the first half. But, if you look at that for Heritage Christian, okay, Antoine didn't play tonight. You've got your best wide receiver from a number standpoint playing a quarterback. You want to fit him into the offense where he's going to feel comfortable doing some things that he can do within his parameters. He was able to do that. But then Broderick comes up big. I mean, now you have found a guy that you can throw to the outside, you have confidence in, you can do some things with him. So if you're thinking, okay, Antoine may not be back in time for maybe the first or second round of the playoffs, and again, I don't know who they have in their sectional, but there'll be somebody in there that's going to think, hey, listen, we got an opportunity here, but you're going to feel comfortable. You've got stuff on film, and that's what coaches want to see, and they probably did some different things in the first half just to see how Schlamer would react, and I thought he reacted well overall.
Well, let's take a look at that sectional lineup for Heritage. The other team that is undefeated on the season is Centerville. They have a 6-0 record so far this season. And then there's a handful of teams that Heritage has already beaten this season. They've beaten Shenandoah, who stands in at 4-2. They've beaten Cecina at 4-3, and they've already beaten Eastern Hancock, who is 4-3. And then the other 2 squads are Northeastern, who is 3-4, and then Winchester is 3-4. So it looks to be a winnable sectional for Heritage. Of course, Centerville at 6-0, playing 1- and 2A schools that we don't know a lot about, frankly. But that's the sectional lineup, and of course the Eagles have won that sectional each of the last 2 seasons before bowing out to WeBo in each of the last 2 years. And, of course, they have moved up after winning 3 consecutive state championships. Coach Justin Pelley doing an incredible job at WeBo. And I know I've watched both of those games last year, and it just got to a point where the Eagles defensively could not stop the rushing attack of WeBo. But, again, that's the tournament success factor and innovation brought really to high school sports by the IHSAA. And you can that kind of opens up a pathway for Heritage for the season in 2A. So that's a little bit of a preview of where this season is headed in sectional and regional play.
I know a lot about Centerville. Coach Padgett, a graduate of Cecina High School, was an assistant there, went out there, turned that program around. They won the TEC last year. They are winning tonight 31-7, so they're going to finish out undefeated again this year. But it's a little bit misleading, and I only say that no disrespect to Centerville, but the Tri-Eastern Conference is really not a very good conference right now. They've had years where they've been very good, but this year and last year they're a little bit down, and Centerville then gets into the tournament and they struggle against some good teams like a Heritage Christian, like a Cecina. They love to run the football, and that's one thing they'll try to do is run it down your throat and play that smash mouth football. So you mentioned Northeastern, they're struggling a little bit as well. I think they're winning tonight as well. But again, some of those teams over there on the eastern side struggling a little bit with numbers first off, and then just the conference isn't as good as it has been.
Well, of course, we've talked about, you saw a commercial a minute ago from the IHSAA. The IHSAA is looking to recruit officials across the board in all sports, and frankly, there is a national shortage of sports officials, but they're working in conjunction with the Indiana Sports Corporation and the Indiana Officials Association to recruit and retain officials across the state. So there's a big event on Friday, December the 3rd at 7 o'clock at the Indianapolis Convention Center. This is in conjunction with the Big Ten Football Championship that, of course, Indianapolis is hosting. So this is a time where you can learn to become an official, both for flag football and also for tackle football all the way up through the high school level. There's no certification required. You just need to be 14 years old, and you learn everything you know to become a licensed official. They're waiving that fee for this year, particularly if you participate in this event. You can learn from people that have a lot of experience in high school football. If you are interested in that event, you can contact Sandra Walter at the IHSAA office. That is S. Walter at IHSAA.org. So it's a time to learn to become a high school sports official, and you can see the reps down there in the corner. Of course, reps, an innovative sports officiating training platform. They've got app up in the Apple store, and in a couple of weeks here, it'll also be on the Android devices. So a great, easy way, really targeted towards kids to learn how to become a sports official. Really cool platform there. So that's our plug for sports officials, and we'll be back for the second half in a moment. You are listening, or you are watching Indiana SRN.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures.
And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Troy, a busy slate of games across the state of Indiana today in week number 8. Let's take a look at some of those scores.
And one of the bizarre ones tonight, Mount Vernon Shelbyville, a final now and I know you're thinking, wait a minute, it's only 8:45, 49-0, but the lights went out and they can't get them back on. So you never know what you're going to get on a Friday night, but that's what's happening there. That is a final at that game. In the this one's at halftime. Owen Valley leading Greencastle. These are SRN games. 38-10. That's at the half. Second quarter, Park Tudor putting it to Covenant Christian, 29-7. At North Central Farmersburg, 14-13. They lead Traders Point at halftime. West Central now leading Frontier in one of our other SRN games, 14-8 in the third. Lawrence Central's beating Ben Davis in the second quarter, 15-14. Cathedral pounding Brebeuf in the second, 28-7. Center Grove now leading Lawrence North in the second, 29-6. Decatur Central on top of Perry Meridian in the second, 21-7. And Ron Colley, they're on the road at Cincinnati Elder, winning at halftime, 14-7.
This broadcast is copyrighted by the IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Well, we are ready for the second half. Of course, there will be a running clock with the score differential the way that it is. Miller will take that at the goal line, and he was just a shade back in the end zone. Boy, Miller really wanted to run that one out, but he will not get a chance to.
Yeah, and a lot of fans, I think the mercy rule is good in high school football. We have seen, I have to refer back to last week, and it shocked all of us when we saw the Lawrenceburg leading Rushville 70-0 after the opening period of play, and I'm sure for the Rushville team and the fans, and maybe even for Lawrenceburg, those games can't go fast enough, and so you're kind of glad that's going to happen, so that's why we're going to see a running clock here. Now, if it gets under 35, then things will change, but as long as it stays 35 and above, we'll stay with the running clock. And the running car.
Yeah. Dion Richmond, again out at quarterback here. Will take the snap and give to Miller, and he is going to be brought down from behind there by... That was Tyler Marsh, sophomore linebacker. Pickup of 3 yards on the play. They really didn't try to run the ball that much in the first half, and I really thought that they might. Miller has got some good stats rushing the football this season, but they really tried to go with the passing game, and that did not work out so well.
Yeah, they only ran the ball about 6 times in the first half total, and that was it.
Tyler Miller in the backfield with Richmond. And his pass is going to be well too high, intended for the tight end, Joseph Glenn. And that play would not have gone for much, but Glenn was open. And just Richmond having an off night tonight could not get him the football.
Yeah, he's thrown the football 17 times, and a lot of his passes just have not been on the mark. And if you're a defense scouting this game, the one thing you know you can do, let's put some pressure on him, make him throw that football, because most often than it's not going to be, he's not going to complete the pass.
Richmond will give it another shot down the sideline, looking for Pinkston, and he's got it, and that's what we said all day long. Pinkston is the deep play threat and a difference maker, and he makes that catch there. Sam Graves was in coverage, and he has done a great job all day keeping Pinkston quiet, but he got loose on that one.
Well, that's a great play. And there you see the size. He had one-on-one coverage and just went up and got the football. That's a great play.
Yeah, Pinkston at 6'3" versus Graves at 5'9". Let's see if they can get Pinkston involved more.
Went for 41 yards. That by far their biggest pass play of the night.
Miller tries the middle, then tries to bounce it outside. Goes nowhere. Brought down from behind by Luke Peters. So Peters getting some playing time here. Some second-string guys in for this Heritage defense here, including Mateo Jesh, who is the place kicker, getting some time now on the defensive line.
You know, by Pinkston, you talked about it's only a second reception, and he really hasn't even been targeted as much tonight. I know he had the one that was thrown over his head moments ago, but they really haven't gone to him as much as you thought they would.
Gilder goes in motion. Here's a play-action pass. They're going to hit Glenn out in the flat, and he is going to be hit and wrapped up immediately. Nice tackle in the open field there by number 24. That's Daniel Palaconda, another sophomore, second-team defensive player for the Eagles, and it'll be 3rd down and 11.
Well, it went nowhere. Big guy Glenn, his third reception, but he's not really fast, so it was hard for him to even get out to the outside. So
but if he can get ahead of steam now, he rolling in at 6'3", 227.
He just couldn't get the head of steam going, though.
No. So 3rd and 11. Again, running clock here with a 42-point score differential. Richmond is going to fire one to Glenn. He's got it. Little stutter step, tries to get around the edge, and there you can see once he gets that momentum going forward, he can make some guys miss by running right through him. I think he was very close to first down. He's going to be about 2 yards short, and that'll set up 4th down and 2.
Yeah, big guy, isn't he? I mean, he's one of those. He has that body that looks like a guy that could be a tight end, and certainly did nice after getting a little head of steam right there and gets him close to the first down.
Easy little route, 5 yards, and turn around, catch the football, make one man miss, and almost got the first down.
Yeah, it looks like Heritage playing a little zone right there, and he just kind of sat right there in that zone area in an open spot.
Richmond under pressure, hits Miller on a screen. He is going to have enough for the first down. There you see the speed. He had a nice spurt. Brought down from behind by Tyler Marsh. But you can see Miller and Pinkston are certainly playmakers for this Tindley offense.
Yeah, Miller, we saw his versatility when he came in and played a little bit of quarterback. He's been able to run the football and then gets a 10-yard pass right there. Nice screen set up to the outside to get a first down. By far right now, maybe their best drive they've had all night long.
Yeah, they've pushed it now to the 29-yard line. Richmond again fires. This one is incomplete. The pressure brought that time by Mateo Jesh, and that sort of interrupted the flow of that play. And that'll run us down to the midway point of quarter number 3.
Now, I mentioned it earlier, the one thing you want to do to Richmond is certainly get him out of his comfort zone. Don't let him sit back there and throw those passes that are for sure for him. I shouldn't say for sure because he's missed a couple, but he feels more comfortable throwing, so get some pressure on him, make him get rid of that football quicker than he wants to.
Three wide receiver set. 4-man front for the Eagles. Richmond's going to fire this one to the end zone, and it is just over the outstretched arms of
whoever that was running.
Whoever that was behind the pole. Yeah. There he is. Was that Glenn?
Yeah. It's
wow,
82.
Glenn was moving.
Yeah,
he was moving pretty quick.
It's 3rd and 10.
Boy, that was almost, that play was there. It was just about 1 yard too far.
Well, they've got that one-on-one coverage. They had one-on-one on the other side. They had one-on-one down here with his size. Again, if he can just get that train rolling, he can be a threat.
He beat Wolf down the near sideline. Richmond now is going to roll near side. Pass is incomplete. Again, that was Joseph Glenn.
Well, he took his gloves off.
He did after the end of that play.
Yeah, you saw him take them off. I don't know if he thought maybe they were wet and we've had some rain around the area, but he didn't, whatever reason, he took them off, and that time he just had it right in his hands and dropped it. So
now 4th down and 10, and this drive looks to be stalling here. Darian Davis, the wide receiver, near side. Pinkston, the wide receiver, to the far. They need to get the ball to Pinkston here. Richmond takes the snap. He steps up in the pocket. He's going to be brought down behind. Fumbled the football. Here's a scoop. This is Rogers with it. Brought down at the 45-yard line. I'm sorry, that's Isaac Jones. My bad. Isaac Jones with the fumble recovery. Another turnover forced by this Heritage defense. And they will take over with 4 minutes and a running clock here in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, you see good coverage everywhere down the field, and he got stripped from behind.
Colin Jones forced the fumble there, I think.
Yeah, you're lucky that we didn't have another return for a touchdown right there, but Heritage Christian, and that's deflating if you're Tindley, because you had a drive going, you made some nice plays, you got a couple of good gains, you had the 41-yard completion at the one point, and then it stalls. And you just can't seem to do anything. You can't even, first off, get it into the red zone to see if you can perform something there at offense, but just the sputtering of the offense, it'll cost them in the tournament against really good teams.
Well, we've got a timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. You're watching IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first, so maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Beautiful Friday night lights in Indiana. Heritage leading 42-0, 3:34 to go here in this third frame. And we'll have a whole slate of new players in the contest for Heritage, and including the quarterback, which was number 16. That is Isaiah Stevens. He's a sophomore. And the running back on that particular play was Sam Garvey, a junior, 5'9", 180 pounds, and he's got some nice flowing hair out the back of that helmet.
I wish I had that kind of hair now, huh? That is nice.
Isaac Jones, who recovered the fumble, also in on offense, and then Daniel Palakanda, also in one of the skill positions. He recovered a fumble. This is really the full-on second-teamers out here right now, getting an opportunity with some live varsity action, so important for these guys as well, of course. So again, 16, Isaiah Stevens. And now we've got whistles blowing and a delay of game. So tough to get the plays in and called and snap the ball. And all of a sudden we're back to looking like middle school football, right?
Well, and the other thing is these guys haven't had a chance to play a whole lot in the last couple of weeks because they've had some close ball games. And so Friday night's a little bit different than Saturday morning when you play those JV games.
Hudson Alt, the wide receiver to the left. Again, Stevens out of the shotgun. He takes the snap, gives to Palakanda. He's going to come to the near side, looking to get around the right boundary. And he is going to be knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line by Pinkston.
Stevens gives it to Palakanda.
You know, the nice thing about that clock still runs even if they run it out of bounds. I think they ought to run it when there's even a timeout. You know.
The Morales Group, we can match you with the right career or hire the right candidate for your company. We do so much more than that. Let us help you today. Contact the Morales Group at 317-472-7600.
We had a broadcast crew last week that was out here so fast, they beat us by an hour, I think, wouldn't he?
Luke Peters, one of the wide receivers near side. Here's the shotgun snap, and nowhere to go. That'll be Stevens being brought down behind the line, and that's credit the sack there to big number 82. That is Glenn.
Yeah, that wasn't a play that was going to do much from the very beginning.
And 11 for the Eagles.
So the Eagles will punt it away, and the Tindley defense comes up with a stop.
Well, it didn't help when your lead blocker didn't get out there and get Glenn either. So
no, that one fell apart early.
It did.
Let's see who will punt. They really are big on the quarterback being the punter. I don't know if that's Bystrud actually going to go for it and not get it. So that'll be a turnover on downs.
On the carry gets
that was Sam Garvey with the carry. And
Tigers will take over on down.
Tindley will take over with 27 seconds, and we will probably not get another play in here into the third quarter. So we'll be back in a moment. You're watching IndianaSRN.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You're good at making big announcements.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Tindley completes a screen pass to Tyre Miller, but that loses 6 yards on the play. Stay up to date with our sports. Pairs the pass out to Miller, and what a nice tackle there by Marsh. Made a few plays today. Stay up to date with our sports page at IndianaSRN and Troy at radiotroy.com.
Where are those guys? What are the Union guys? Are walking out already? What's going on here?
Here's the snap. It's like a new quarterback. Is that Miller? I'm not sure. That's not Miller either because he was the intended receiver. So we've got a new quarterback. That is number 7. That is Elijah Gurton. He is a 5'5", 140-pound freshman quarterback, and this is his first action of the season at quarterback. Actually, nope. He is 1 out of 5 for 40 yards coming into today's game. So he's got another opportunity here.
Well, these later stages of a game like this, when you get a chance to play under the lights, this is big for everybody, even your coaching staff. You may find somebody in there that's going to help you somewhere down the line if you need a little bit of depth in certain areas.
Gurton takes the snap. He's going to fire one near side, and it is not close to Glenn whatsoever. In fact, it was Palaconda with the best chance to pick that one off.
Well, that's tough to bring your third-string quarterback in who hasn't seen a lot of action. And, again, it looked like it was a pattern that was wide open, and he just throws it behind him. But you don't get a lot of reps with these guys in practice, so it isn't like you're working with the number 1 receivers every week. So it's a tough thing to do.
Well, it'll be another punt for Tindley at the 10-minute mark on 4th and 16. There's a snap. Had some good punts today. Palaconda let that one hit, and it's loose, and Pinkston's got it. He picks it up, and he's at the 20, the 15, the 10, and I don't know if you can advance. Can you advance a fumbled punt? Apparently not.
Apparently not.
They're telling him don't run anymore. Pinkston saw 6. He saw 6.
Well, Pinkston, you just keep running until they tell you to stop, because the bottom line is get it in the end zone, because you never know.
Well, let's take a look. And Palaconda came up here and underplayed it. And Pinkston clearly with the recovery.
Well, Palaconda tried to catch that with his hands only and had him stretched out like that. You need, as a return man, bring that into your body. And, well, again, let's be honest, he hasn't probably seen a whole lot of punt returns this year at the varsity level, so another very difficult situation on special teams.
So I'm assuming the rule is you can't advance the punt?
I thought you could, but apparently not in high school, unless somebody else may have touched it or something. He thought he was down or whatever the case may be.
Definitely wasn't down.
No.
And now
but they may have thought he was down. Maybe it's a perception thing.
Maybe.
Hey, we saw stuff in the first half. I'm not sure that.
That's why you need to be on ref reps so you can get a clarification on how that play is adjudicated.
Or we can go to New York and find out what they think. Yeah, I'm not sure. Apparently that is the case, but I always thought you could.
Yeah, it's an interesting play. 8 minutes to go in this one. Football resting at the 30-yard line. This will be Elijah Girton once again at quarterback. And the tough part about this is you've...
Timeout, Tindley.
And we have a timeout by Tindley. We'll run a break with them. You're watching IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
David Pierce and Troy D at Heritage Christian School. Heritage leading 42-0. To become an IHSAA official, you need to contact Sandra Walter at ihsaa.org/officials. Get involved with the men and women behind the stripes. A great way to stay in shape, serve your community, and be a part of the game. 4 wide receiver set. Let's see if they've got the hard part now is you've got Pinkston out there, but it's tough to get him the football with a freshman in, and he's going to fumble, brought down from behind. That fumble was forced by Big 51. That is Jonah Hufford. And who recovered that? Was that
I don't know if that was 74.
74 is Maddox Morgan.
Or 51. Looks like 51 is celebrating. There he is.
Well, yeah, he's forced it. 51 forced it.
All right.
Yep, Jonah Hufford, the freshman, with a big varsity play there.
See, and that's just it. We all think, well, it's all second, third teamers, but these guys get excited.
Matters to these guys. There's the forced fumble by Hufford, and 74 is Maddox Morgan, a pair of freshmen in on that play.
Even more exciting for a freshman.
There you go.
Well, on the other side, learning experience when you have your third-string quarterback in there, and something that they, again, will be able to look at some point and pull out of the archives, that you got to get rid of the football. You can't hold on to it very long because these guys are coming after you, so
I don't
throw
know if
it.
anyone wants to pull this out of the archive.
I would, as a coach, say, look what you did back in the 2021
Look
season.
how much you've grown.
That's right, exactly. But you got to get rid of the football.
Burtner Electric has been serving the Indianapolis area since 1986. We are a family-owned and operated business. We take pride in our customer service and put our customers first. Fully licensed and insured, we offer 24-hour emergency service. No job is too big, no job is too small. Call us today for all your electrical needs at 317-773-7663.
Yeah, that was another timeout, by the way, right there. So,
and I guess I missed that one. Well, Heritage football, basically a JV game broke out here in the middle of a Friday night. We got guys running all over creation. Pinkston finally has Palaconda to cover in the slot. Here is Stevens rushing near side, and he is going to be brought down right about the line of scrimmage.
Well, and Tindley still has a lot of their frontline defenders in there, and unfortunately, the one thing about it right there, you might get an injury of a guy who you're going to need next week and into the tournament.
Yep, Pinkston, a key cog on the defensive side of the ball from his linebacker position. You got Glenn kind of limping around a little bit. Of course, Tindley with a game against Indianapolis, Washington before they head into sectional number 46.
Well, that's a winnable game next week.
Yep.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. But then again, you got to think that keep everybody healthy, just get some other guys in there and make sure you keep those frontline guys healthy enough for next week and into the tourney. And we'll know that draw coming up on Sunday night, so that'll be fun to watch.
Isaiah Stevens getting reps at quarterback. He's a 5'8" sophomore. He'll take the snap, give to Palaconda, retreating, trying to get around the right side. Has a little bit of room, pickup of 2 or 3 on the play.
Palaconda on the carry.
You know, we talk about the importance of numbers of guys playing football. You know, with Heritage now with over 50 guys on the team, it allows you the luxury of having a game like this and having a full second team to put in, right?
Yeah, and when you're winning and you have a winning program, more kids want to be a part of it as well. And so as you see Heritage continues to establish a winning tradition, kids will come out for football. They want to be a part of it.
Stevens takes the snap, and here is the give again to Sam Garvey. He finds a couple of yards in the trenches.
Garvey on the carry.
And the same thing will happen with Tindley, and I know they had that undefeated campaign until they went into the sectional a couple of years ago, but they've got to establish that, again, Tindley can be a football school as well as a basketball school, and it does hurt when you got guys playing AAU circuit and playing club teams and things like that, and it goes into your football campaign because you really want to get things started as early as you can, because football, you mean you're going in early August, if not into July, and doing a lot of camps over the summer, and you just need the reps.
3 wide receivers near side. Stevens takes the snap. He's going to keep it. And on 4th and 5, he's not going to make it. And there's another guy we've called many times today. That is Carl Lee, again, just a freshman, but I think that's his 6th or 7th tackle solo today.
Well, I'll go back to Tindley for a moment. You know, they run that spread offense, and during the summer, you go to a lot of clinics, you go to a lot of 7-on-7 camps where you can really work with those receivers and the quarterback and timing and doing all the things you need to do to run a type of offense, a spread offense like that. So that's why those summers are so valuable, and if you don't get that time together going into the season, you're playing catch-up, it seems like, the entire year, and that's a hard thing to do when you're running an offense like this.
Well, it looks like Elijah Gurton will get another set of reps. I don't know, if I was him, I would just be giving the ball to Tyre Miller. I would just it surprises me that they don't run it with Miller. And now we've got to delay a game and a timeout. If they pointed timeout, and so that is a timeout. We are going to take that timeout as well and be back in a moment. You're watching Indiana SRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Second and 15
David
for the
Pearson,
Tigers.
Troy D. Back D. Did I do that right?
Close
No,
enough.
D. Yeah, I think I got that.
At this stage, you can call me anything.
Well, there was one play there, and I think there's an injury. And so both teams have retreated to the sideline. I think I've gone through all my reads.
You have. You did
Troy?
a great job there. You filled all of those gaps.
I'm combing for anything else in this binder that might be relevant. I don't think I've got it.
Don't forget college football tomorrow. Do want to mention the HCAC
Yeah.
game of the week. The guys will be, in fact, that's probably why they left early. They're glad they got that game over with because they're going to Manchester tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw Jay Jones there on a commercial for, what's the name of the conference again?
The Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference.
Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Jay teaches our legal aspects in sports class
Oh,
at
good.
IUPUI in the sport management program. Jay's been doing that since his time, all the way back when he was at the NCAA. We've had him in that class for 5 or 6 years now.
Oh,
he
good.
does a phenomenal job, and it's been exciting to see him take that leadership role with the Heartland Conference, and now IndianaSRN on board for that weekly game of the week.
Yeah, 1:15 will be the pregame, 1:30 kickoff time.
Girton is going to fire one down the sideline, and it is incomplete. That pass was intended for number 30. That's John Quill Muse.
3rd and 15.
And in coverage was Nicholas Mason, a 6', 180-pound sophomore.
John Quill looks like a fullback, not a receiver, unless he was coming out of the backfield. I mean, look at that. He's got some legs. I'd let him carry the football.
5'9", 200-pound freshman.
See?
Yep. Well, clock marches on down to the 2-minute mark.
I think I got John Quill out. He's in a slot here at the right side.
And the snap on 3rd and 15 is fumbled. It's loose. And I think Miller. It was Miller that time. Fell back on top of it. That's been the kind of day it's been for the Tindley Tigers today.
Yeah, it's been a rough one, and that's, again, it's important for these young players to play under the lights on a Friday night, but, you know, you just haven't had enough time, and that's why you see so many mistakes. But this really started early for Tindley when they made some really crucial errors early in the ball game, and then just fell behind.
Oh, Miller on a keeper right up the middle. He may take it to the house. 20, 15, and he does. On 4th and 24, Tyer Miller, who averages 74 yards per game on the ground, now scores his 3rd touchdown of the season, and the Tigers are on the board.
Well, you get that goose egg off the board now, and again, you mentioned Miller ought to be running the football a little bit more.
All day.
Maybe you should call a couple of plays for him next week.
Miller on the ground, and then if you want to throw it, just jump ball to Pinkston.
There you go.
Keep it simple.
That's nice for them to get on the board. I know they'd scored over 40 points in their last 2 games, and I know it was a tough order here.
And there's Miller in for the 2-point conversion to make our new score Heritage 42 and Tindley 8. We'll take one more break here and be back in a moment. You're watching IndianaSRN. Back once again at Heritage Christian School, where the Heritage Christian Eagles lead 42-8. We're inside a minute, and Troy Tindley on the board there with Miller's touchdown run.
Well, finally something positive tonight. You know, they've had a couple of plays where they've made some positive yardage. just wasn't the night for Richmond that he was hoping to have, trying to capitalize on 2 straight weeks of 40-plus points. But, again, as I mentioned earlier, it was a tall order coming in. You got to play at Heritage Christian. They want to go undefeated this year. They had something to prove with Antoine out at quarterback. So there were a couple of storylines in this one on the return there, as you see. But the bottom line, it was Heritage just too good, and Brown was phenomenal again tonight. Here's your touchdown run. But Heritage just too good on both sides of the football throughout the entire night. A little more consistent.
Great cut there at the 40-yard line by Miller, and then it's all Miller's speed from there.
You know, that official wasn't going to get out of the way. I thought he was going to try to tackle him there for a minute. Yeah, that was a good play, and that'll give them something to look at for next week as well, and an opportunity to use these kids next week and try to beat Washington and get back on the winning side of things before tournament play.
Well, Heritage does not need to run another play, and your final score is Heritage 42 and Tindley 8. Troy, your final thoughts on this game today?
Well, Tindley's got some things to work on, no doubt. As I said earlier, they're behind the 8 ball a lot because they get a late start earlier in the season, but they've got some weapons they can use. Hopefully they'll use those next week and then get ready for tournament play. On the other side, I thought it was really, really important to make the offense work with Antoine out. They did so, and Heritage put some points on the board. They found a new weapon in the offensive side with a receiver that had a breakout game tonight, but then you've always got the go-to guy in Brown. I love their offensive line. I like the way their defense flies. I think they'll win next week, and they go into the tournament undefeated and certainly could make a deep run. And then when Antoine gets back, they're going to be a really fun team to watch again. Not that they weren't tonight, but they'll be even more dangerous.
Well, big thanks to the full IndianaSRN crew. For Troy Derengowski, I'm David Pierce signing off from Heritage Christian School. Once again, the Eagles win it tonight 42-8.
Ours would have too. They had to call a timeout there.